Welcome to the Leadership Lovers Podcast. I'm your host, Will Gladhart, CMO at the Culture Think Tank. At the Culture Think Tank, we empower leaders with metrics that strengthen culture, drive performance, and return. We're here today to learn about the actions leaders have taken to address organizational change. Today, our guest is Monisha Longacre, founder and CEO of Productivity 101 and a fractional COO for various businesses. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. I'm really looking forward to our conversation. Thank you.
Excellent. Let's begin by having you share a bit about yourself, your background, and your organization with our audience.
Wonderful. Thank you. So my name is Monisha Longacre. I started out in my education was in communications, and I had the I was fortunately ran into the internet very early in my career in the early 90s. And so most of my career was around digital media, where we knew the internet was going to change how we communicated. Little did we know it was going to change how we did everything. And honestly, we're at the precipice of that again, right? Where we have a new technology that's really challenging how we think and how we operate, which has been very exciting. Spent 13 years at the Weather Channel, worked at various HR and ed tech startups, and then founded my own business, Productivity 101, mainly to help individuals, teams, and organizations figure out how to accomplish what matters most. And so, in my experience from big enterprise organizations to startups and to running my own business, you definitely see common themes that you can apply across the board to really help people find balance and achievement.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. We'll be discussing 3 questions today. As a warm-up to our conversation, would you share why you believe a healthy culture is critical?
Well, culture is at the root of accomplishment and then also fulfillment, right? Because it's not only about getting things done, but enjoying what you're doing. And if you enjoy what you're doing, you will get results out of your people, out of your teams. And you can definitely see and feel a difference in those companies. And people are at the heart of that, right? And I think that's one of the things that I think we'll have to keep at the forefront as we go through this next technological innovation with AI is how do we continue to build our people, grow our people, and develop cultures that support them.
I think that's a fantastic point. We've heard from a variety of CEOs about, oh, how my workforce is going to go away or how things are going to radically change. And I'm going, there still has to be people behind the customer service, the interface, the technology. That kind of leads us into question 1. It's been our experience that leaders tend to struggle in 3 key areas: people, process, and profit. In your role as CEO, or as you've worked with many other leaders, could you identify which of these 3 areas has been a typical challenge or something that where you helped others grow?
And again, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head is when people are hearing this message that their jobs are going to be taken away or replaced or that, their careers are going to be impacted. I think it goes back to the core of reminding our people and building into our cultures that in order to be most effective, we have to make sure they're motivated, that they feel supported, and that they're valued. And so I think we're kind of in this little bit of a disconnect sometimes with how we get our people to contribute and help us achieve our business goals when we're not helping them feel those things.
Right. And certainly when a leader is telegraphing that positions may go away, that it's going to be disruptive to the organization without any sort of plan beyond just hearsay, that certainly makes it difficult for the culture and performance to grow and continue to benefit the organization. Is there a specific challenge or something that you worked with a leader on that negatively impacted an organization around culture or performance?
Yeah, and I think again, we're facing this a lot more in this because everything's moving so quickly now and so fast, and we want to do everything all at once. And
Yes.
that's really difficult, right? And I think our leaders are really challenged with this concept of speed and achievement, and we need to do everything and we need to do it now. And we need more, right? I think this AI culture has created this sense of we need more content and we need it faster, we need it bigger and better and more and more. And I think for our people, that's a really tough message where I think as leaders, we'll be a lot more effective if we can be really clear about priorities, focus, what's really important, and helping everybody on the team understand that while we can't do it all at once, here are the things that are most important. And then modeling prioritization, learning how to make sure that we're protecting boundaries, not saying no, but learning how to say yes, but, right? Like, I'm not going to say no, but let's make sure that we're still focusing on the things that are most important. And so, really trying to put some of those tactics and then model some of those behaviors from the top down to support the people who have to get the work done.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the behavior element, but also putting boundaries and putting parameters around the things that need to happen because everything seems to be in such a short timeline or attention span, or those are certainly things that can negatively impact an organization and people. What's one thing that you've identified in the work you do with various leaders that has helped impact culture or communication positively?
So this might sound backwards, but it's been very effective. Is when we do brainstormings. I did a focus group this week with an organization where we were doing a team brainstorming activity. And this happens a lot with leadership teams and during strategic planning process. Everybody talks about all the things we should be doing. Add more, right? Let's do this and let's do this and let's do
Yeah.
this. But the one thing I try to redirect and focus on is what are we going to stop doing? What are the things that we've been doing for a long time that may not be getting the results that we want or are taking a lot of time that really aren't being used, like reports that nobody's looking at? And really hone in on those opportunities to build the time and the space to add in something else.
I think that's fantastic advice. It pairs very well with a lot of the work that we do, where we ask staff what they need from their leader, what they need their leader to stop, start, and continue doing.
That's
And
right.
often the start is the action, but the stop is the opportunity, as you mentioned, to stop doing things that are not conducive to employees, not conducive to culture and performance, and also pause to create that space for new starts. I really like that you take the same approach as going a little backwards and counterintuitive. As we wrap
And
up,
I love that tool, but I wonder if you find the same thing I do is that the shortest list is the stop list.
yes, yes, quite frequently, and because individuals aren't used to thinking about stopping or giving up, because the message is always, how do we do more? How do we accomplish more? And you can't accomplish more in terms of performance unless you shed things that aren't working, that aren't productive, that aren't creating profit, that aren't streamlining your operations and processes. Yeah, we're very aligned in that in terms of that. So as we wrap up today, is there anything else you'd like to share with fellow leaders?
Don't be afraid to give feedback, encourage, and make sure that people are feeling valued.
Yeah, I love that. So Monisha, I've enjoyed having you on our Leadership Lovers podcast today. Thank you again for your time and your insights.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Leadership Lovers podcast. Find all our Leadership Lovers episodes on the Culture Think Tank website at www.theculturethinktank.com or listen on your favorite streaming platform. We'd love to hear from you about the challenges you have faced as a leader. Tune in weekly as we invite leaders to share their experiences in strengthening culture and performance, one action at a time.